Hello everyone, welcome back to Games Done Quick Hotfix here on twitch.tv/GDQ. We have a game I haven't seen that much of in quite a while, but I'm so excited to see it. Here on the anniversary of the Toy Story 2 movie coming out, I just found this out literally like 5 minutes ago. But Spaghetti, would you like to introduce yourself and also this Thanksgiving masterpiece?
Yeah. So, my name is Spaghetti or Spaghetti, and we're going to be running Toy Story 2 Buzz Lightyear to the Rescue. It's based off the movie that Limey just mentioned. Actually, is having its 25th anniversary on Thanksgiving, so that's pretty cool. A little fun fact for y'all. We're going to be running the N64 version. This is going to be 100%, so we'll be collecting all of the Pizza Planet tokens that you need to beat the level or to beat the game, which is 50 tokens. We're also going to be collecting all of the power-ups, and there's I believe 5 in the game that we'll be getting. With me is my commentator ThermalSquare, who is another runner of the game as well. If you'd like to introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm ThermalSquare. As Spaghetti said, I am also a fellow Toy Story 2 runner, so happy to be here.
Sweet. Timer is going to start once I close this screen here by pressing A. So in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
Yep. So
yeah, this is Toy Story 2. Yeah, I'll kind of let Spaghetti focus on the run. I'll try to we'll interact with each other, but yeah, this is Toy Story 2. So this game has a kind of a unique setup to it in terms of levels. It starts out with like 2 platforming collectathon type levels and then 1 boss type level every 3rd level. And each level has 5 Pizza Planet tokens in it. So if you do the math, that's 10 platforming levels. They consist of a boss token, which Spaghetti is currently doing, a race token, a puzzle token, a coin token in which we have to get 50 coins, and then a collectible token in which we collect 5 collectibles that are hidden throughout the level.
Mm-hmm. The puzzle or puzzle token, that one is usually the one that's pretty different for each level. All the other ones are pretty similar in terms of what you have to do to collect them. There's a pretty cool mechanic in this game too that lets you skip a lot of platforming, which is extended double jumps, and you'll see right here. So normally you're not supposed to be able to make jumps like that. It should be out of your reach, but if you time your double jump, you have a certain amount of frames, like a small window of frames where you can do a double jump, and it maintains like max height and max distance. And that basically lets you skip a ton of platforming areas. Kind of like that there.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, if you don't know anything about the speedrun, you wouldn't really notice it, but it's just one of those kind of mechanics in the game.
There's also a few glitches in this game, which would be this one right here. If you want to explain it, Thermal.
Yeah, so basically Spaghetti's going to do a lap skip here. The trigger for this race is just the crack on the ground that you could see there. As long as you come from behind the crack there, which Spaghetti's doing that by jumping around the van, it will count you as having completed a lap, which normally it wants you to have run all the way around the minivan that's in the garage there. That's a nice little skip that saves a bunch of time in the run.
Speaking of skips, we have an N64 exclusive skip here. I did it pretty quickly, but basically I just smushed Buzz into the corner of that door and he clipped into the ground, into the basement here. That saves a ton of time than having to enter the basement normally. And there's also a puzzle that you're supposed to do to grab that Pizza Planet token that I fell on top of. You're supposed to push some boxes around, and that's the puzzle token for this level. But it's pretty convenient that when you clip underground there or through the floor, it actually lets you land right on top of it. So you skip having to push those boxes around and do the puzzle.
Yep. And one quick thing, Spaghetti just unlocked the most useful power-up in the game. the Cosmic Shield, we will be using it a total of 0 times throughout the run, but it will be, it's necessary, or it's needed to complete 100%. Basically what it does is just protects you from all attack, you know, or like
stage
damaging
hazards.
goo on the ground. Yeah. But yeah, it's useless. We don't have to use it, but it's necessary for 100%.
Surely one day there will be like a use for it, right?
Surely.
I mean, yeah, potentially. Like
Technically,
maybe-
there is one thing you can use it for, but it's not really useful. In Al's Penthouse, which we'll see later in the run, there's a power up, or a life up, like a 1-up that you can get, and it's inside the fireplace, and you can't get it, but there is one of those cosmic shields there, so you grab the shield to be able to walk into the fireplace, so you don't get burned. So you can get like a 1-up out of it, but that's literally it.
That's for max percent.
Yeah, which we don't do. Oh, I don't
No.
do.
Neither do I.
This next level, though, is going to be Andy's neighborhood. So the collectible, I don't know if you guys noticed, but the collectible for the first level was Bo Peep's sheep. And for this level, it's going to be the little green army men.
Yeah, so Spaghetti is currently like ground pounding these different mounds. He's actually not going to be completing this puzzle to get this collectible yet, because where we return the collectibles is actually in this area, and we will, the way the route is, he will be coming back to that area at the end of the level, conveniently.
So it kind of just like, yeah, it just saves a little bit of backtracking that we would have to do.
Yep. And yeah, right now Spaghetti is doing the race token. So you can see these little power pack things inside with like a weird boot shaped thing in it. Those are what are called the rocket boots, which would be unlocked later, but we can actually beat this race. As you can see, Spaghetti is just bumping into the RC car. And as long as he maintains doing that, RC won't pass him and we can actually beat the race. Because if you don't do that, RC would just zoom right past you and you wouldn't be able to win unless you had the rocket shoes.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. Like, I remember doing this casually in Andy's house to beat him. And then I realized, like, oh, I could probably do this in the other level too. And sure enough, you could. It's a little trickier in this one. But if you know when he's going to be coming around, you can usually stop him.
Yeah, the other thing you might notice is Spaghetti isn't like staying on the track at all. There's actually only 2 triggers to that race. It's one behind that last cone that Spaghetti passed, and then behind the big tree is the other trigger. So as long as you kind of maintain yourself in that area and hit those 2 triggers, you can just kind of move in whatever way you want.
Yeah, you don't have to stay on the track. Which when I first started running the game, I thought you did. Until somebody pointed out I was doing it really slowly.
Yep.
We're going to be getting the puzzle token here, which is another quicker way of skipping it. So we're supposed to inflate like a pool toy to grab this. But instead, you could just jump onto it from the air like that. The pool toy would land in the middle of the pool, then you use that to grab the token. But you could just do like a well-timed double jump off that swing to be able to grab it.
Yeah, and the other reason that way is actually quicker is because that little potted plant that Spaghetti caught, there is a collectible on top of there. So it just kind of saves going up there, going back down to inflate the inflatable.
Yeah, the green army men.
Yeah, which they are kind of hard to see because in some areas they are
Camouflaged.
like this next one is on a green object, so it's kind of small.
Yeah, this little
But
dude.
they do shoot like a little flare too, as you can see. It's like, hey, we're here. Oh, there it is.
The iconic tree. For some reason, this tree is like really hard to scale. It might just be because of the weird collision on the bushes and stuff like that. Sometimes it eats your jump. Also, since I'm running on the N64 version, as much as I love this version, it doesn't run as smooth as the other ones do. So you do suffer from a little bit of input delay sometimes.
For sure. And what we found out is like with the N64 version, they didn't take advantage of the expansion pack that the N64 had. So they're still basically running off like the 4 megabytes of RAM that the N64 originally had. So it's like, maybe if they had used the technology available to them, it would have
ran at like
helped.
a stable FPS.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna ask because I was like, I think this is the game. I haven't seen it in a while, but I think just like this is the game and not your screen share. But no, yeah, it's just totally the game.
Yeah. I mean, if you guys want like a smoother experience of the game, you can totally run the PC or like play the PC version, which is pretty available if you know where to look online. But
or if you have like the PlayStation version, that one runs at a pretty stable like 30, I think it's set at.
Yeah, the PlayStation 1 version is good too. We don't talk about the Dreamcast version though.
No,
this one's better.
The Dreamcast version looks really nice, but load times between levels, no joke, are 30 seconds a piece. So if you like waiting around, the Dreamcast version is for you.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was why Spaghetti didn't complete the mound puzzle earlier. He got that last collectible and returned it to the
sergeant.
Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for.
So I just wanted to ask a quick question, if there was time.
Yeah. Of course.
Spaghetti, what which Unity guilds are you in, and how long have you been in them?
So I'm a member of the Latin Guild, and I actually joined it. I was like one of the first members when they first opened up. I remember when they announced it at TwitchCon 2023. I was actually there in person, and when they announced it, they told everybody that you can apply right away. And so like literally I was in the crowd and I looked it up and applied to it as I was like sitting there with my friend.
So like literal like one of the first people. That's awesome.
Yeah, not even like exaggerating. I was like one of the first people to do it, because if you think about it, like as soon as they mentioned it, I did it. So before the stream even heard it. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm jumping on this. And yeah, I've been a part of it since the beginning. It's been really cool because they offer a lot of like opportunities, not only just to like not even like opportunities to grow your stream, but just like ways to interact with other streamers, especially if you're trying to find like other streamers and creators that are like in the same space as that you are. It's pretty nice. Like I don't really interact with too many people on Twitch other than like my speedrunning group. So finding like a new community of streamers that aren't speedrunners has been really cool. It kind of like showed me like a whole different side of Twitch, because for a while that's kind of like all I used it for. So it's been really cool just to meet people in general. And like I mentioned earlier, like the opportunities they have are pretty cool. Just this past month, last month actually, they helped me set up an event with me and another guild member, Osmorn. And we set up a Twitch Unity Guild speedrun marathon, which was really cool. It was my first time ever setting up a marathon other than just being a runner or commentator. It was a lot of work, but super humbling, and it was like a really cool experience. It was like completely ran by Unity Guild members, all the runners, commentators, hosts, things like that. It was like a really cool like team effort, and it wasn't just like the Latin Guild. We included all the guilds, so it was like a cool team effort. It was the Women's Guild, Black Guild, and Latin Guild. Unfortunately, the new Pride Guild that was made, they hadn't been like fully open or like created yet when we were doing the event. But hopefully, if next year they allow us to do it again, we'll definitely have the Pride Guild in there too, which will be really cool.
Yeah, that's so awesome. Yeah. Big ups to just like the Twitch Unity guilds.
No, for sure. Yeah. It was just a really cool experience. And they did a this past TwitchCon, they opened up the applications again. So there's a few more people that joined in there. And yeah, like, I would say like if anybody's like ever interested in joining one of those community guilds, definitely next time they have applications open to just apply, because It's been a really cool experience. Okay. Something kind of weird
I'm so
happened
impressed
there.
that you were talking about all that while you're like speedrunning. Like I'd not be able to do all that.
Yeah, I almost messed up like 2 or 3 times, but you didn't notice it, so all good. I thought I messed up there, but no, that was just really weird cycles. I jumped
I was
from
gonna say I've never seen cycles like that before.
yeah, so like I jumped from one beam to the other, and usually they line up. Well, not usually, they always line up to where I can jump over to the next one. But for whatever reason, that one moved up as soon as I got to it, so I have to like do it a second time. That was
I
really
wonder
weird.
if that's just like an N64 thing because of the lag. Maybe there's some
Frame rate.
weirdness going on there.
They might move slower than like the other version.
Yeah,
I know I know it's a thing for like the elevator cycles and elevator hops, so it might affect the cycles
Right.
here too.
Huh. Interesting.
Also, this is the race token, which is Slinky Dog. He needs 5 wrenches for whatever reason. I'm not exactly sure what he's gonna do with them, but
He's clearly gonna help build this skyscraper that he's sitting in the middle of with all that wet cement.
for no reason. Yeah, this level is pretty cycle based because of that. There's also like this little elevator that we turned on, like we flipped the lever on, and we're gonna use it to get back up to the top of that skyscraper. We have to drop back down to get these disc launchers because I don't know if I mentioned it, but the potato head pieces that we've been collecting and giving to Mr. Potato Head, that's how you unlock the power-ups in the game. So in the first level, it was that cosmic shield we mentioned. In this level, it's going to be the disc launcher, and we have to drop back down and grab it before we fight the boss because for whatever reason, this boss, you can only damage him with the disc launcher. But thankfully we made the cycle here on this elevator in time, so that was pretty nice.
Yeah, the route in this level, so all that like walking around Spaghetti was doing, that's intentional, so we can grab a bunch of coins and stuff, plus the disc launchers, and still have the right like cycle timing to get on that shortcut back up to this level. So it may look like he's walking around aimlessly, some might say.
Something that I don't really like about this version of the game is this disc launcher doesn't work very well. So a lot of times my shots will miss here. So let's just hope it doesn't. I'm going to do this strat that I found to be the most successful where I walk behind him and usually the discs do hit him. And it looks like I ran out. So I'm going to have to reload, which I went the wrong way. I was supposed to turn this way in case that happened. But yeah, as you can see, I had 20 discs and yeah, I still wasn't able to kill him.
Yeah, so this game, just in general, this game had issues with like the disc launcher, even on the PC version, which what was it, about a year ago or so, there was a community member named Andet who made a patch for the PC version that is available to everybody to basically fix the FPS physics issues with the disc launcher to make them actually work better.
Yeah, it's definitely an FPS issue, which is weird because you would think if it doesn't work on PC for running at 60 FPS, you would think it would work better on N64 at 30, but it's broken on both. So it doesn't make sense.
Saying N64 runs at 30 is quite generous.
Okay, yeah, true. It runs at 30 FPS when you're standing still.
Yes.
I was gonna say if this is 30 FPS, then my monitor must be like 400 like hertz refresh rate.
No,
Yeah, there's definitely sections where it'll get even worse.
yeah, it does get pretty chunky. Which the next level actually is pretty chunky because there's like this like raindrop, like rain effect or whatever on the screen since it's like nighttime and raining, and that tanks the FPS pretty badly.
Yep.
So,
Thankfully, this level does have a really nice soundtrack to it, so that's one of the redeeming qualities.
makes up for it. Nice
Oh
and
geez,
jazzy.
you loaded in and I immediately was like, oh, okay, I understand what's gonna go on here.
Yeah, the rain is pretty bad. Especially this next section up here.
Yeah, this level is split into like 4 different sections, kind of. So there's like this back area that Spaghetti's running into. There's like a little market area, and then like an area where you climb up, like scale upward. So it just, yeah, the more stuff that's loaded in, it just kind of chugs.
I'm also doing a little strat right here. So we started the race, but I also made a little detour and grabbed the collectible token for this level, which is the duck. That way I don't have to go back and grab him after I finish the race. You can also see me running at 5 FPS right now, which is pretty crazy.
I was gonna say, like, this is like single digit, like, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, every jump outward is just like,
Yeah.
I literally
there.
feel like I'm like walking in slow motion.
I just know your N64 is like crying for help right now.
Oh yeah, I put it through a lot of abuse, but it's okay. For the greater good. But the reason I'm grabbing the collectible token is because normally for other versions of the game, for the most part, if you were doing a 100% run, you would actually have to come back to this level later and do a second visit, because there's a power up that you're supposed to use to be able to like scale the rest of the level, which is actually this power up here to my left. This is the hook shot, but on N64 there's an exclusive trick we can do that I found, which I dubbed crack jump. The reference to that is actually a Bug's Life speedrun trick that's pretty similar, where you like kind of just jam flick into a wall and it gives you a second jump. I realized when I was running A Bug's Life that was a trick, and since this game and A Bug's Life are made by the same developers and are released around the same time, I figure they're probably on the same engine. So I'm like, I wonder if you can do crack jumps in Toy Story 2. And I tried it in this level, since that's like there's another way of like getting up here without doing that crack jump. Oops. But it's really difficult, and I've always struggled with it. So I'm like, you know what? If ever there was a level where you can do that, I hope it's this one. So I experimented with it, and sure enough, you're able to do that. So we're not actually supposed to be up here yet until we unlock the until we unlock the hook shot.
Yep.
But yeah, you can do that crack jump instead and get up here early. But you may have noticed that I actually did grab a hook shot while I was up here. And that's because the developers never intended you to be able to get up here without unlocking the first one that's on the ground. So all the other hook shots that are up here are already unlocked. They never put them inside of the box. So if you're able to get up here, you can technically unlock it early.
Yeah. And then it's the same thing in the level that you unlock the hook shot as well in Elevator Hop, which there is technically a way to scale it without the hook shot, but it's really difficult and not worth doing. But yeah, it's just funny that they did that, and it's like, they're not gonna get up here early, right?
I'm also butchering this level, by the way, so apologies on that.
I think you can definitely blame the FPS here.
Oh, 100%. Like, here, let me just do this. Oh no, he didn't reach it. Okay.
It's okay, you have hook shots now.
I do, huh? I was about to do that again, but you're totally right. Yeah, the FPS is terrible here.
Yeah, when you fell like into that like room basically with like the enemy, like I can count it on 2 fingers.
There are 2 frames happening in this moment.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. This level is usually where most of my runs will reset, if not the first level, but it's mostly just because of the frame drops. I've had to like, I'm not even like paying attention to the screen at this point. I'm literally just like mentally timing when to jump. It's like, it's always about this time when I jump. Like, it doesn't even matter what's on the screen, because the screen is lying to me at that point. Like, when I press jump is not when he's gonna jump.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
I totally understand like the expansion pass comment now. Like, wow, this game would so benefit.
Totally.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just weird that they didn't take advantage of that. Like, it's literally right there.
Yeah, but with all of that, I still really love this version, especially the any % version, which I ran for Hotfix last month. the reason why it's so much cooler in my opinion is because for any percent, the token requirement to beat the game is actually less on N64 versus all the other versions of the game. Instead of requiring 40 out of 50 tokens to beat the game, you would only need I wonder if I can reach that from here. Oh no, I can't. Okay, I will back this up by doing something.
Something. It'll happen.
We're cooking big ideas here on Hotfix.
What's that?
We're cooking big ideas here on Hotfix.
Oh yeah. Heck yeah. But yeah, the hotfix that I ran it in was the N64 version, and yeah, like I said earlier, it's just a different route entirely. Are you kidding me, Buzz? It's a different route entirely because yeah, you only need 30 out of 50 instead of 40, so the route is a lot quicker, more stylish in my opinion. I am not doing it justice right now though. There we go. Right. Yeah. Okay. Now where were we?
But Spaghetti, can you tell us how much you love this game? Because there's something special about your N64 cartridge. Can you just tell us about that?
Yeah, I mean the cartridge I run on is like a custom like gold cartridge. So the shell for it is like a gold cartridge that one of my friends actually made for me. It was pretty neat. They like started watching me when I first started running the game, and I think it was when I got like 3rd place on the leaderboard for any percent. They just like out of the blue sent me this package, which I had no idea what was inside of. They're just like, hey, I'm gonna send you something as a congrats or whatever. I'm like, cool. And yeah, they just sent me like a gold cartridge version of this game. Like the board inside is still like a legit copy of the game. They just like reshelled it and like put like a new sticker on it and stuff. So I thought that was super sick of them, and that's what I used to run on. Pretty funny.
Yeah. I'm actually really jealous of that because every time you show it off, I'm like, that is so cool.
I don't even run this game, and I'm jealous as well.
Right? I also have like a complete in box version of this game. It's actually sealed, so that's pretty cool too. I'm like a big retro collector, so like I just have a ton of like old video games, and when I started running this game, I was like, I wonder if I can get my hands on a sealed copy of this, the N64 version. Found one on eBay like years and years ago. I think I paid like $45 for it or something like that.
Really?
That's a steal,
it was pretty
in this
cheap.
economy.
I'm telling you, like
Right?
this was before COVID, when like everybody like blew up the retro market. Yeah, this was
Right.
probably like 2016 or 17 when I bought it. So that's a cool little investment that I have. Definitely not getting rid of it though.
I can't blame you.
Yeah, it's super cool. There's actually an alternate version of this game that came out on the N64. So there's like on the box, it'll say that it comes with a movie ticket for Toy Story 2 to watch in theaters, because this game released like a week before the movie released. So they were kind of using it as like to promote the movie, which is really cool because they don't do that anymore for licensed movies or games or whatever. But I'm still hunting for that version of the game. So like on the cover of the box, it'll say it includes a movie ticket, and then obviously there's like an actual movie ticket inside. It's super rare. I haven't came across it yet, but it's on my bucket list to find that one day.
Yeah, I actually own basically like the opposite of what you own for like this game. One of my like favorite racing games is Beetle Adventure Racing, and my main copy that I played the game on is this N64 cart with like the sticker ripped off and like this like poorly drawn like Volkswagen logo, and it says like Beto Race in like children handwriting, and there's like a Hollywood video sticker like on the corner, and it is my favorite N64 game that I like own.
It's so scuffed, but I love it.
It's so funny. I saw it on like eBay for like $2, and I'm like, this is my favorite one. It like took forever to like make it work too, because it was like used and abused.
And you probably have to like clean the cartridge and stuff like that.
I had to clean it like 3 times before it like even like started to like work.
That's hella funny. This is actually my favorite level too, Toy Barn. This level has a really sick trick in any percent. Unfortunately, we won't be doing it for 100, but we will be doing another trick that's also pretty cool. So
yeah, this is the so Spaghetti was talking about like in alleys and gullies how you have to come back to that level with the grappling hook. This level has like the same idea behind it. Basically, we need the hover shoes to get one thing in this level, and it's this collectible that Spaghetti is gonna grab here in just a second.
The baby chicken.
Yeah, that one right there. So that's the only reason you have to backtrack to this level at any time. But Spaghetti did a little jump off that little like
the air vent.
Yeah, air vent frame thing. He jumped off what's called a shadow box, which is just like extra
like collision
polygons. Yeah, collisions sticking out that wasn't really intended by the developer to be jumped off of, but we can because we're speedrunners and we like to skip things.
Yeah.
So, yeah, shadow boxes are just something we haven't quite touched on, but that's kind of like one of the first big instances of like the use of it. He just jumped off another one there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that's another thing that's just used and abused in this game.
Yeah, in the first level we did it too, which we didn't touch on, which was in the kitchen to get the last like Bo Peep sheep. There was like a set of spoons inside of a cup, and we jumped off of that collision as well. It just lets you skip a lot of platforming stuff, which is always nice.
Yep. And now Spaghetti's gonna unlock those rocket shoes we talked about earlier to actually sequence break a little bit, because he's gonna enter through the back way to this room, because you're supposed to exit out this way, but that's slow to go the normal way.
Right. Yeah, normally we would have to push that box up there and then grab that chick on top of that platform, but yeah, like Thermal said, we just did it backwards so that it's faster. The last little chick is going to be up here. There we go. I also grabbed too many coins. I think I was like over there. I shouldn't have had enough. I shouldn't have had 50 yet, but it's fine.
Overcoined. Reset.
We're just going to tip Ham, I guess, an extra coin or two.
Yeah, that's fine. I guess we didn't really talk about that either, of like, you know, Buzz is on a journey to go save his friend Woody from being shipped off to Japan and being stuck behind glass forever. And his friends are just like gatekeeping us from saving Woody.
Yeah, like we need the tokens, and then they're just like, yeah, I'll give it to you if you give me this, if you help me grab that. I'm like, bro, we're on the same team.
I don't know. Have you ever tried eating coins before? Like, I don't know. They're just yummy. I'd trade a token for that.
I've only eaten the chocolate ones that you get at Halloween.
True.
Wrong holiday, buddy.
Right.
True. That one was like a month ago.
Yeah.
Thermal's going to be bringing chocolate coins to the Thanksgiving dinner.
You bet. I don't know where to get them, but I'll find them.
Yeah, that's how we're stuffing the turkey this year.
Chocolate coins.
Full of gold coins.
Very
that
pirate
would be
coded.
Quite the surprise.
Also, we didn't mention on this total screen, you can see which power-ups we have unlocked so far. So we're just missing 2 now, which is that hook shot and then the hover boots, which we'll get in the next couple levels.
Yep. Alice Spaceland, there's a few things to talk about in this level, but the first one is just this first token that Spaghetti's going to go after. It's in this nice crane game claw machine that everyone totally wins at all the time.
Not rigged.
Not rigged at all. The position that the token is set in the claw machine is random every playthrough. So you could either get really good RNG or really bad RNG. Because
that one was pretty good because I didn't have to wait for the the claw to like go around. I was able to line it up.
Because yeah, when Spaghetti presses the button, it will either the first one it'll start moving left and right, and then that's random, and then moving forward and back on the second button press, which is also random.
I also tried I tried showing off there an N64 exclusive trick where if you jump just right, you can actually clip through that ball pit and then jump straight into the token without having to climb back out. It's really like inconsistent. I either get it right away or I won't get it at all. So I just tried it for a couple seconds to show it off. Yeah, I mean, it's neat. I need to look into it more. I found that trick like a couple months ago, but I haven't been able to like successfully like replicate it like consistently, I guess.
Yeah, it's weird,
but it's neat when it happens.
It is. This is just the race token. Basically, don't fall, otherwise you're obligated to do the walk of shame back to the start. Which does happen, especially if you're trying to cut corners a little bit on this race.
Yeah, I don't even risk it.
Yeah.
I've lost maybe 2 runs to that, and I was like, okay, never again.
It just feels so bad because it's like, it gives you the indicator of where to double jump.
Yeah,
but yet you're like, hey, I want to just cut just a little bit of time off. And then you end up just losing the whole run because you're just trying to go too fast.
Also, the mini boss for this level is the evil Buzz from the movie. We got a green laser power up earlier in this level, which pretty much makes all the bosses like super easy. Most of these bosses will just like instantly die if you have a green laser. You just spam it, hold down B. There's only very few where like they don't take damage from regular lasers and you actually have to spin attack them. Or some of them might have cooldowns like the first boss in Andy's house.
It definitely seems like Traveler's Tales got a little lazy with their boss design.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, in a lot of those bosses, if you don't spam them down with the green laser, they're like
they actually do have like
just be
different abilities.
It'll like shoot rockets at you at points. So it's like there are cool things that happen, but like you can kill the mini bosses so quickly that it's just like you don't get to see it.
We also didn't mention, but the collectibles for this token were the LGM or Little Green Men. We just deliver them to this random alien thing we've never seen before in Toy Story.
Yeah, that's why I like to say that this game is very loosely based off of the Toy Story 2 movie.
Well, if you think about it, like I mentioned earlier, this game came out like a week before the movie did. So I'm pretty sure the developers didn't like weren't able to see the movie beforehand.
Right.
They were probably just given the script and they had to make do with that. You know what I mean? Like maybe
just kind of work with what they're given.
Maybe they saw the trailer, but that's about it. So yeah, they had to basically fill a bunch of holes.
Yeah. Right now is a good time to talk about a very important mechanic in the game called the Dizzy Strat. Currently, you could see Spaghetti was doing like a dizzy spin or a spin attack.
Like a charge spin, yeah.
Yeah, and once it gets, like when it's done with its charge, Buzz does that like, I'm dizzy animation. That actually allows Spaghetti to move during these cutscenes here. Because normally if you just shoot the boss here, Buzz will just stand still and you can't move. But because we can walk around, we're actually able to defeat the enemies coming out of these little pods quicker. And specifically, Spaghetti didn't do it on that last one because he hit it with a charge shot, which takes the full charged laser shot, unlike the rest of them would just take a normal laser shot.
Yeah, just to do a little more damage so that you're able to finish them off quicker there at the end.
Yep. We will see that dizzy animation strat later in the run for a very specific reason.
Yeah,
but we'll
very
talk
a
about that
very
when we
like
get there.
time saving trick.
So this is the level we were talking about where the hook shot comes into play that we would normally need to go back to alleys and gullies for, but there it is. It's actually a really cool mechanic, to be honest, like incorporating that into the Toy Story like game.
Yeah, I've always thought it was a cool one of the cooler power-ups. Probably this one, and then the rocket boots are probably the best ones, and they're like the most.
Yeah.
Not only are they they're also pretty useful in the run.
Yeah.
These little mice though could be kind of annoying. They kind of like move like in random positions, like pretty RNG. So like the one that I just grabbed right now that was up against that wall, it was like kind of up to the ceiling there, so I have to wait for him to come down a little bit. There's going to be another one on a ceiling up here pretty soon, and that one's could be really hard to get. And then there's one that's like on a wall that we have to fall down and grab like midair, and that one is probably the worst one to grab.
That one's a major, can be a major run killer, because every time you miss it falling down, it's roughly 15 seconds of time loss.
Yeah, because you would have to come all the way back up to this room to drop down and attempt to grab it again.
Yep.
The puzzle token here is the same every single time, so oh nice, I grabbed them. It's just the blue switch, then the green switch that opens this door. So let's see if I grab this guy. Oh, you little bugger.
And the other hard thing about the N64's version specifically is you could see that it took a second for that mouse to pop in. This just has to do with some of the draw distance issues with the N64 version.
Yeah, that makes them a lot harder to grab. I literally have like a second and a half of like reaction time from where I see him, because he can be like anywhere on that wall. He could have been like all the way to the left or all the way to the right. And on that attempt, he was more towards the right, but like I said, I didn't see him until it was too late, basically. That's why usually when I drop down in the middle so I can react to either left or right. But unfortunately, he was like super to the right, so like I barely missed him. It's okay though. I mean, we can attempt to grab him as many times as we need, but obviously, time loss.
Yep. It happens. That's just the nature of this level in general.
Yeah. We do have the green laser though, so it's gonna make this boss fight pretty fast too. Normally, if he stays alive long enough, he'll turn on the fans that are in this room, and we'll start flying in the air, and it's like hard to shoot him. But with the green laser, we just make quick work of that guy.
It really is kind of a shame that like we don't get to see. Oh my gosh,
That was crazy.
my heart stopped there for a second.
So I almost messed up the cycle there, because when I went into the boss room, I didn't enter it quickly. I don't know if you noticed, but I got stuck in the fan, like the air vent. So it slowed me down. I'm like, oh shoot, it's probably gonna mess up my cycles for this one. And sure enough, it did. But I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna try to double jump to this, so I don't have to wait. And it worked out. It's okay. Oh, were you gonna mention the blackout glitch?
Oh, I actually kind of forgot about that. But yeah, we so there is a thing in this level specifically called the blackout glitch, where in the race, it will like
deload.
The level just like it just like deloads, and I think we recently figured out why.
Nah, he was all the way to the left.
Yeah. And I don't know if I'm knowledgeable enough to explain exactly how blackout glitch works, but like it just sucks when it does happen.
Yeah.
I think, Spaghetti, you had it happen once in a marathon run.
Yeah, it literally happened to me in a marathon. So like when I was doing that race, I came all the way back down and I finished the race, and then the level was like entirely pitch black. All I could see was just Buzz's model, and that's it. And I kind of like remember the layout of the floor, and I walked blindly back into this room here, went up this air shaft, and then when I came back through this door, it like fixed itself. It's a really weird glitch that we just recently found out why it happens. Basically, this little door there that I just jumped out of, if you jump out and jump back in, for some reason it deloads the rest of the level because it's kind of like a checkpoint section. And for whatever reason, if you do that, it'll mess up and you have to re-enter. You have to jump back through that door to fix it. It's really weird, but thankfully it doesn't happen too often.
There we have it. The way to fix blackout glitch, or entirely avoid it.
Yeah, I think it happened during my marathon run because I was lining myself up to jump down and grab the mouse that's on the wall. So I jumped out and then jumped back in because I was like, oh, I didn't set up my camera correctly. That caused it.
Right. Al's Penthouse. This level, in my opinion, has the best soundtrack, and I think it's my personal favorite level.
The Western one.
Oh yeah. Right now, Spaghetti is actually skipping a whole big puzzle. Normally, there's this. You can see that little train in the background. I think. You have to get that stuck at the end of like the track by like pushing buttons to. There's like a train tracks around it, and you have to get it stuck at an edge, like one side of the room, so you can push a box slowly around the room behind the train that Spaghetti jumped on to get that token.
Yeah, but thankfully, like if you do an extended double jump, you're able to just skip that entire puzzle. It's such a pain to do that puzzle, even casually. Like a lot of people struggle with it, so it's pretty cool that you can skip it so easily.
This boss is quite easy. There's not much to it. Just kind of mow him down real quick. One thing Spaghetti did do at the start was he shot a fully charged laser shot at the boss. Weirdly enough, that boss takes one bit if you shoot it, it'll take 1 bit of damage. So if you hit it with a red laser, it'll take a red laser amount, or if you hit it with a fully charged laser shot, it'll take that amount, which is like, I think the equivalent of 3 red laser shots, I believe, 3 or 4.
Yeah, it's basically like a free hit before you start the fight, which is pretty funny.
Yeah.
Buzz is like totally cheating.
Hey, we'll take it.
Yeah.
And we're now Spaghetti's collecting the 5 horseshoes for Bullseye. 1 for each foot and an extra one.
A spare.
A spare tire. So if people have played this game before, they might remember this room quite well. This is the room where we cause a lot of insurance damage for Al. But thankfully, we are gracious speedrunners and have found a way where we don't have to flood his whole bathroom by using one of those shadow boxes we talked about earlier. We jump right up. Oh, almost had it. There it is. We jump off, like, again, one of those shadow boxes and just get that collectible. Normally, you would have to like push these buttons that like slowly flood the room, and you do a little platforming off like the sponges that are in there. But like I said, we saved Al a huge insurance bill, and we got what we needed a lot quicker.
I've always compared that section to like Wet Dry World in Super Mario 64. It's like literally the same concept with the water levels rising and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that was like their direct inspiration for that.
Well, it's funny because that skip specifically, the idea of it was brought to light via a Let's Play. And Lance, one of the people in the community, was like, he saw someone like hit a shadow box in like Andy's house on like a cupboard. And he was like, I wonder if we could use that in other levels. And sure enough, that was the one level. This was the one level he found something, and it was like, oh, sweet. That saves like 45 seconds. That's great.
So good.
make sure to check out those Let's Plays of your speed games.
Yeah, especially if they're lesser known games like this that don't really have like a lot of players. Never know like how much like secret tech is hiding in the game.
Yeah.
I'm like a good example of that because I started running this game when I started streaming / speedrunning about 3 years ago. And this was the first game I picked up. And as I was learning it, I was just messing around with the controls and stuff. When I was learning that dizzy strat in that Toy Barn encounter level, I was messing around with that dizzy spin animation thing, and I did it on one of the bosses in Andy's house, and I was able to move during the cutscene where you grab his token. And when I did that, the text box for the token didn't appear, and I was just basically like storing the text box until I stopped moving. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And I posted about it in the Discord. And I was like, hey guys, like this is like a fun little thing I found. I don't know if it's useful or anything. And for a while, people were like, oh, I don't see what we could do with this. I mean, that's neat, but like, I mean, okay. And then speaking of Lance, he was like, you know what? Let me cook. Let me find what we can do with this.
Yep.
And he found like basically combine that with like other interactions in the game to be able to like skip a bunch of stuff. And any percent, there's a really huge skip for that in Al's Toy Barn. And the last level, Tarmac Trouble, there's technically 2 skips that we can do with it. We are going to be doing one of them in this run for 100% though. You guys will be able to see that.
Yep.
But yeah, it's pretty crazy that basically went like undiscovered for years until I started playing.
Yeah.
Like, oh, neat. I found something.
Yeah, and it was one of those things where the skip that Spaghetti was referencing in Tarmac Trouble, which we'll talk about, that was a theorized like potential skip. It was just a matter of how do we accomplish this task. But we'll talk about more about it when we get to that spot of what we're talking about.
Yeah, it's the level after this, so soon enough. There isn't really too many tricks in this level. We did one just right now, the shadow box jump to grab the little tyke, which is the collectible here. We will be doing like not really a trick or anything, but it is like a little faster routing where we're going to be doing the race pretty soon, and we're going to be doing the collectible token and the race at the same time. That just saves a bit of backtracking. But I'm trying to think now in terms of like tricks and stuff. There isn't very many, at least not on this version. On a PC, there actually is like a clip you can do where you can kind of like clip into the next room using one of the suitcases, which is pretty cool. But unfortunately, even though you can do it on N64, unfortunately, the way that the N64 renders the levels and stuff, it doesn't actually load in the next room because you didn't enter through like, the correct checkpoint. So even though you can clip into the next room, the room is just like all black and not loaded in.
Yep. I'm assuming that just has to do with the deficiencies of the N64.
Yeah.
They're like, we can't load the whole game in. That might burn up your N64.
Unfortunate. If we had the expansion pack, though, I'm gonna keep bringing it up.
We will not be satisfied until it happens.
You do a little bit of like platforming skips here, though, so you can like kind of jump off this collision to get up here early. There you go. That just skips like a little bit of platforming. Here's Potato Head's mouth. In this level, he does have a power-up he can give us, and it's going to be the hover boots.
Yep.
Which is actually the last power-up we'll need to unlock.
Yeah, we do use it once during this run, which is to get to the boss. Yeah, to get to the boss. Kind of running around collecting the collectibles now.
Oh, brother.
that little pig just kind of danced around you.
Yeah, he kind of juked me a little bit. He kind of broke my ankles right there, but it's okay.
That was the move that made LeBron cry, right?
Okay, we can recover this though. We have the technology. Thankfully, that's the only thing that went bad there. Usually, I end up failing this whole platforming section. So if it's just the little tyke I miss, I'll take that all day. There we go. But yes, so we're gonna be delivering the potato head piece here in a second. He's missing his mouth, which is pretty funny. If you were to interact with him right now without his mouth, instead of him thanking you for giving it to him, this text box just says like or something like that, like a bunch of gibberish because he can't talk, which I never realized was a thing until somebody pointed it out to me. I was like, that's a neat little detail.
Yeah, I actually never knew that either.
Yeah.
And I still haven't actually tried it, and now like I want to try it.
I know, right?
Like, just to see it and be like, oh my gosh, that is funny.
I like when games do little Easter eggs like that.
So there was our main antagonist of the movie, Stinky Pete. Beaten in not the last level, right?
I know. We'll see him again. That's not the
he's not
last
done
of
yet.
the Prospector.
No, sir.
Yeah, that was the last little tyke at least. So all that's left now for this level is to do the race, which is going to be this one right here. This guy, if you remember from the movie, his name is Rocky Gibraltar. I don't know if anybody knew that. I'm pretty sure like nobody knew that because it's such a like random character that he really only has like one role in the first movie, and then after that he just kind of just becomes like a background character.
I don't even know if they state his name in the movie at all. I think he's just kind of, I mean, he is one of those just background characters, but it's like, he does actually have a name.
Yeah, I still like don't really remember how I found that out, but I'm like 100% sure that's his name. Rocky Gibraltar. It's so random. He's supposed to be like a weightlifting dude. I probably learned it from like a behind the scenes something. I've watched so much content for the Toy Story franchise.
I do wonder if there is any inspiration from like the Rocky movies at all.
Yeah, 1000%. He's like a Rocky reference. He's like buff, right? Weightlifter. Yeah.
I don't know if he's Italian though.
Probably not. I don't think he speaks. I'm pretty sure he never had a voice line.
If he does have any voice lines, it might be like some sort of grunt or something. It'd be one of those
like a stock
subtitles that just says grunts.
Yeah.
I think if this game actually utilized the expansion pack, that could be one of its uses.
Giving him a voice line.
Yeah.
True.
Woody should have given him his voice box.
Speaking of though, there's actually a lot of characters in this version of the N64 that don't have, they're either missing a lot of their voice lines or they just don't straight up have any at all. Like Zurg, when we fought him, he has no voice lines, only his little grunts. But if you play him on other versions, he'll like say like iconic little phrases from the movie.
Yeah. Well, it's weird because even like the PlayStation version, when you enter like Zurg's level, you'll hear Buzz yell, "It's Zurg!" But in all the other versions, that voice line doesn't show up.
Oh, really?
It's just not there.
I never knew
Or
that.
in Toy Barn Encounter, the PlayStation version has a line where it goes, Agent of Zurg, if I've ever seen one.
Oh, yeah.
That's not in any of the other versions for some reason.
Yeah, so like PlayStation has like extra dialogue. So weird.
Yeah.
I think the game was developed on the PlayStation first, right?
That's what I've been told.
Yeah,
I believe
I'm not
is
really
that
sure.
the PlayStation was the original port of the game or whatever, and then the rest of them just kind of take from that, I guess.
Right. Oh, thank God.
Oh yes. Okay. So, Spaghetti is he just utilized the dizzy attack animation thing we were talking about. So he has now what is called text storage. So every time Spaghetti has grabbed like a token, there's that text box that appears that says keep playing or exit level. That is currently stored within the game. And as long as Spaghetti doesn't stop his movement, he will be able to maintain text storage, which will come into play shortly. So right now you can see if Spaghetti remains careful.
I almost fell there.
He has to just keep moving, otherwise text storage will pop, which shouldn't be too hard, hopefully. Sometimes these enemies can be a little...
I'm just going to skip him. Actually, I can probably grab him.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay.
Yeah, if I let my stick go to neutral, then yeah, basically the text box will pop up and it'll ruin the trick.
Yeah.
I'm in a state of like constantly moving forward. If I stop moving, I'll die like a shark.
Ooh. We don't
I think that's a thing.
I don't know.
Somebody fact check that right now.
I'm not a sharkologist. I apologize.
I'm gonna look this up right now.
Thank you.
But yeah, we did the text storage trick right there. So what I did there was Skip having to do the Slinky Dog race. When I interacted with Slinky Dog, his text box appeared, but also the text box from the token on the boss that lets you keep playing or exit level. When you're talking to like NPCs and stuff, when they have their text box open, you're stuck there. You can't move until their text box closes, right? But since we hit the keep playing at the same time, it actually lets us start moving, and we're able to basically move before we start the Slinky race. I messed this up. Said it. So what we did was we stood where the token would spawn at the end of that race. Oh my god, I'm screwing this up. Hold on. Okay, we're good. Something I didn't mention either. This puzzle is like so annoying. It's like, why did they think like this was an okay puzzle for a children's game?
So, to be fair, in all versions of the game, there is normally a Rex hint box that tells you how to do that puzzle, which does not exist in this version of the game for some reason.
So you literally don't know what to do. Basically, what you're supposed to do there is like light up the bottom lights, the bottom light bulbs to match the top light bulbs. But you have to like hit them in a specific order almost. And the pattern is different every time you play the game. So it's not like you can just remember it. Technically you could remember it, but there's like 13 different patterns you would have to remember. I'm not trying to do all that.
Yeah, and we do have, like, if you are ever interested in speedrunning the game, there is a cheat sheet on the SRC page that has all of the solutions to it. So whatever the light puzzle is, it'll be like, hey, button 421 is the solution for this one. So it's just like, you find it, get it, and then you can, or if you know how to do the puzzle, you can look at it and go, okay, I need to hit this one, and this one.
Yeah, but I'm not one of those people. I just have like a brain fart when it comes to it. I mean, if I'm like super locked in, I can do it, but typically it doesn't go that way.
I'm back from the Googling, by the way.
Oh, I'm interested to hear the answer now.
So they can't stop moving because they, like, a lot of different species of sharks like move, and because they like move and like swim, they're able to like breathe the oxygen in the water. But there are a few species of sharks that don't have to do that. So it's not all sharks, but it's some of them.
Some of them.
Oh,
yeah,
interesting.
It's not because like their organs fail. It's just because they don't get oxygen if they don't like move to keep breathing in the water.
Keep the water from flowing in. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It was. I kind of had the right idea there.
That's so interesting.
I don't even remember
so much today.
I know, right? This is a very educational run. But just like that, we're already at the end of the game. Just to make sure we got all the tokens. Collected all 50 tokens. And now we're at the final level, Prospector Showdown. So there's our pal Woody and Jesse. Oh my god, look at their faces.
He's very cursed.
Oh yeah, I can definitely count those polygons for sure.
Right? That's like 3 polygons max.
One weird thing about Woody's face model is that it's different in like the PC and PlayStation and Dreamcast versions. For some reason on the N64 version, he's just got this really like cracked out face. And we don't know why, but it's kind of a meme within the community of like, yeah, look how weird Woody looks in this version. His eyes are very, very like dilated.
Like every version, it's weird because like every version of Toy Story 2 has a really cursed Woody face. Like they're all cursed in their own way. None of them actually look very pleasant. But timer's coming up right here. Time. And there he is again. Oh my god.
Jeez. Oh yeah, that looks beautiful. That looks strange.
Strange things are happening, you might say.
Yeah.
True.
Do you have any shout outs or anything?
Yeah. Shout out to, first of all, Thermal for agreeing to commentate. I appreciate you. It's always a blast.
Yeah, it's fun.
Shout out to the Toy Story 2 community. There's not many of us, but they're all super nice and always super friendly and just like really supportive of the game. I know that they always show out for marathon runs and stuff like that too. So yeah, shout out to those guys. If anyone ever wants to learn how to run this game, if you go on speedrun.com and search the game, we have our Discord linked in there. It's a really easy game to learn, in my opinion, and it's just so fun. If you like 3D platformers, this is like probably one of the best licensed ones, in my opinion. Yeah, shout outs to my personal stream community, super supportive of all the games I run. Speaking of games I run, my main shtick is usually retro games, platformers, and licensed games. So if you guys like that, you can check it out on my channel, Spaghetti. And then Thermal, if you'd want to give out any shout outs.
Yeah, I kind of do the same thing as Spaghetti. I do a lot of retro licensed game speedruns on my channel as well. But yeah, shout out to the Toy 2 community. You guys are the best.
Yeah, enjoy the rest of the event, guys. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Hope you're all enjoying it and eating good and spending it with family and friends.
Yeah, thank you so much for doing that, Ron. That was so much fun. We're going to be back in just a few minutes with more members of the Twitch Unity Guilds showing off their favorite runs. We'll be back in a few minutes.